So everything was really set up so nicely for Philadelphia. Go into Dallas on Christmas Eve, deliver Philadelphia an early Christmas present, win the NFC East at Jerry's house, and then in the process you lock down that number one seed. That did not come to fruition, and a lot of people have a sour taste in their mouths following the Eagles' 40-34 defeat at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, in a game that you have the right to be frustrated because of how this game played out. It was there for the taking. The Eagles were up. They're the better team. There's no question about that, but they gave it away, and Jonathan Gannon, more questions continue to loom as to whether or not he is a legitimate defensive coordinator. Now, for Gardner Minshew, who we'll talk about more at length here on our show, he was pretty solid today, 24 of 40, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, both interceptions I thought weren't his fault. They got wrestled away from Quez Watkins. Miles Sanders, okay, outside of the fumble that really was the nail in the coffin for this football team. 21 carries for 65 yards, and DeVonta Smith. Back-to-back weeks in which he has looked like a legitimate wide receiver. The toe drag swag play on that far sideline, terrific. 8 receptions, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns for him. Dak Prescott, we have to talk about him, no doubt about it, and that ties into Jonathan Gannon. But first, your one-word reaction to this loss to the Dallas Cowboys. For me, very frustrating. You let me know right now in the comment section. The issues from this loss: 4 turnovers. Philadelphia really sloppy in this game. And the 2 times that the Eagles have been sloppy this year, outside of the Bears game last week, but also concerning trend because that's consecutive weeks in which they've turned the football over. When they've lacked ball security, they've lost. Washington, Dallas, almost against Chicago. And for Jonathan Gannon's defense, Dak Prescott continues to be a problem against the Birds today. 27 of 35, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Cowboys also ran 31 times for 115 yards, and CeeDee Lamb went off for 120 yards through the air. Dallas, with their scoring in points in recent games that Dak Prescott has played against Philly, today, 40. 2021, 51 and 41. Didn't play in 2020. 2019, 9 and 37. 2018, 29 and 27. He continues to play well against the Eagles. And for Jonathan Gannon, the seat becomes a little bit more hot after a performance like this because there were inexcusable coverage breakdowns. There were awful third down breakdowns. The top got taken off of the defense, and you got a good pass rush, but the secondary looked confused on the back end on a couple of instances in which the cornerback thought that there was going to be safety help, vice versa, and Gannon just was not aggressive enough. There were times he was, and I thought it worked out in the Eagles' favor. There were other times in which, and this continues to be a trend, he was way too complacent in basically giving the offense what they want and waiting for them to make a mistake instead of going out and just attacking. I mean, for T.Y. Hilton to get loose on that 3rd and forever, that's just brutal. That just cannot happen, and it really did help change the momentum of this football game. I'm going to tell you why, though, there are some positive takeaways from this, because the Eagles didn't play their best game on Christmas Eve against the Dallas Cowboys on the road. They turned the rock over 4 times. They still scored 34 points. And with their backup quarterback, they still had an opportunity to win this football game. So Fletcher Cox said after the game, very frustrated with the performance and with the defeat. They should be, because they gave it away. They got too sloppy. Gardner Minshew echoed this. They shot themselves in the foot. And Jonathan Gannon, I continue to have questions, and I want to talk about him more coming up around the corner. First, though, let's tell you about Rocket Money, our presenting sponsor for our Eagles Now post-game show. Do you know how much subscriptions really cost for you? Most Americans think they spend about $80 per month on subscriptions, when the actual total cost closer to $200+. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. There's this app that we love using here at Chat Sports. It's a game changer called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. This app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for, and you may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. And to cancel it, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of those useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Head to rocketmoney.com/Eagles now. Seriously, it could save you hundreds of dollars per year. That is rocketmoney.com/Eagles. Now, going back to the defense. With Jonathan Gannon this year, after they were historically bad last year, a lot of people have seen the defensive rankings for Philadelphia. Top 10 in several categories. They've made monumental strides forward from a year ago. And despite them being ranked top 10 in a multitude of categories, a lot of people don't believe that Jonathan Gannon is a quality defensive coordinator. Why is that? Because of performances like today. Yes, the Cowboys played arguably their best game of the season outside of taking down the Minnesota Vikings. 40 points, though. Eagles could not come up with a stop throughout the duration of the afternoon. And for Jonathan Gannon, how will your defenses perform when you go up against elite quarterbacks? Now, the good thing for Philadelphia, you look across the NFC right now, the most elite quarterback they might have to think about is Dak Prescott. Maybe a Tom Brady. For San Francisco, I think they're the best team in the NFC. Slight edge over Philadelphia, it's Brock Purdy. But against elite quarterbacks, Jonathan Gannon's defenses continue to struggle, and they continue to be underwhelming in some of these big situations. So that's really a concern that we're going to continue to talk about until he proves us otherwise. For Miles Sanders, great year. Career year for him. Can't cough it up. I appreciate the ownership of that mistake after the game, but in that spot, can't do it. Quez Watkins have to be stronger with the football. This is a big game. Number one seed in the NFC is on the line. You have two difficult games left against the New Orleans Saints and the New York Giants. Jalen Hurts' status, unknown moving forward. Like, if you lose out, you lose the grasp of that number one seed. That's awful when the magic number is 1. And for Quez Watkins, show some fight in a big game. It's Christmas Eve. I'm sure the TV ratings for this game are going to be unbelievable. Be stronger with the football. For Gardner Minshew, solid. He's a more than capable quarterback in this league. We talked about it all week. I thought that the Eagles were going to be able to go in and win this game with Gardner Minshew. They should have. Again, they're the better team. They executed very well offensively. 34 points is nothing to scoff at. That defensive line played good football. They were able to get home, generate somewhat of a pressure, but really the secondary just getting carved up by Dak Prescott. They had no answers on the back end for what Prescott wanted to do. And for Gardner Minshew, if he has to play next week, I have confidence in him as you return to Lincoln Financial Field to lock down that number one seed. He showed and has shown throughout his NFL career that he can win games and perform very well in this league, and this is why that maybe some other teams in NFL free agency this upcoming offseason might look at him as a potential long-term starter because of what he did against a Cowboys defense, by the way, that the last 3 weeks has not been good at all. They are not trending in the right direction. Saints and Giants coming up. Eagles have to find a way to win, at least one of them. And then you can rest your guys, try to get that first round bye, home field advantage coming through Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. It's an opportunity really to punch your ticket to the Super Bowl because if a team has to come into Philadelphia, a very difficult place to win. I hope all of you enjoyed your Christmas Eve outside of this defeat, and I hope all of you stay safe for Christmas. I'm a little bit under the weather, but still wanted to talk some birds after this frustrating loss, and I hope all of you stay healthy and you stay happy and safe. For daily coverage of the birds, make sure you subscribe. As always, appreciate all of you for tuning in, and keep it locked here on Eagles Now for more Eagles news, rumors, and analysis every day year-round.